Morning. Countries have rushed to dispatch aid, personnel and equipment to help rescue efforts in earthquake-stricken areas of Turkey and Syria. The European Union has mobilised search and rescue teams, whilst the Copernicus satellite system has been activated to provide emergency mapping services. At least 13 member countries have offered assistance. The EU said is also ready to offer help to Syria through its humanitarian assistance programmes. Spain was preparing to send 2 urban search and rescue teams to Turkey with 85 personnel and a contingent of volunteer firefighters. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez yesterday urged the European Union to reindustrialise to end its reliance on energy, microchips and food from outside the bloc and to learn the lessons of shortages provided by the COVID pandemic and the war in Ukraine. Shortages triggered by dependence on countries outside of the 27-nation EU highlighted a serious threat to the competitiveness of our companies and to the security and welfare of our fellow citizens, Sanchez said. He pointed to microchips and personal protective equipment from Asia during the pandemic and Russian natural gas and grains during the war in Ukraine. Sanchez was giving a speech in Madrid to outline policy priorities before Spain assumes the rotating presidency of the EU Council in the second half of this year. Meanwhile, the Economy Minister, Nadia Calviño, said Spain and Portugal were urging the European Commission to present its proposal on a new fiscal rule for the bloc. EU finance ministers have been debating how to adapt the fiscal framework to the new reality of huge public debt and large investment needs to combat climate change. Current rules force member countries to curb deficits and rein in public debt. In September, the International Monetary Fund said the EU should set up a fiscal capacity to pay for EU public goods, link the pace of debt cuts to individual country risk, and let independent fiscal councils play a bigger role in policy. Some travellers were hit again yesterday as air traffic controllers began their second day of planned strike action. The strike in the privatised control towers of various Spanish airports began on January the 30th. Yesterday's industrial action was the second in a series of 5, taking place every Monday until February the 27th and involves around 160 workers. Flight disruption is believed to have been minimal so far, but one union chief has indicated that industrial action could continue all the way through Easter week or maybe even the summer. They say they are the worst paid air traffic controllers in Europe and the only ones who have to pay for their own training. Minimum service have been set by the government depending on the types of route. That's the latest from TRE. I'm Bob James.